Let's look at the playoff series. Let's go one by one. We'll start with the American League. We'll start with the big one, the rivalry, the Red Sox and Yankees. Two focal points of this series, as you see the matchups right there. Aaron Judge will be one. Garrett Crochet will be the other. And of course, they've had some memorable matchups already this season. In the regular season, Crochet has not lost to the Yankees this year. 4 starts, he's been mostly brilliant against them. And Judge has had his difficulties against Crochet, 3 for 15, 11 strikeouts. Why will Aaron Judge be the focal point? He's coming off one of the great seasons by a right-handed hitter in Major League history, the 3rd time he has done that. And, of course, as we all know, he has struggled in the postseason. Let's look at Judge regular season and postseason, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm sure Yankee fans are well acquainted with these numbers. Those are his career regular season numbers. 294 batting average, 413 on base, 615 slug for an OPS over 1,000. Now let's look at the postseason for Aaron Judge. Not quite as good. Batting average, 205, on base, 318, slug, 450. I believe he has 16 homers and an OPS of 768. Not horrible, not great. You might say, Ken, small sample size. Well, yes, that's what the postseason is, small sample size. And the Wild Card series is the smallest of sample sizes. Now, I mentioned Crochet. He'll be the Game 1 starter for the Red Sox. He is their main hope for stealing the series and going deep into the postseason. There aren't many aces in October anymore. Many guys that you can count on and say, wow, he's got a chance to carry his team. I would say Tarek Skubal is one. I would say the Dodgers have a couple themselves. Maybe there's 1 or 2 others you would put in that category. Maybe Brian Wu if he's healthy with Seattle. But Crochet, as you see right there, the Red Sox say it, he is their guy. 3-0 with a 3.29 ERA in 4 starts against the Yankees this season. You see that too. Red Sox haven't lost to the Yankees in the playoffs since 2003. None of that stuff matters. What matters is who is on the field. And what matters also, of course, is the other starting pitching in this series. Max Fried for the Yankees, Carlos Rodon, and probably Cam Schlittler, and also the bullpens. Now, the Red Sox are going to come in Game 2 with Brian Bayo. And Brian Bayo has been really good for the Red Sox in the situations against the Yankees, matchups against the Yankees, I should say. 2.35 ERA in 11 starts against the Yankees, 1.44 in 5 starts at Yankee Stadium. He likes that stage. He's not going to be cowed by it. Now, he had 1 great start at Yankee Stadium this year, 7 shutout innings. Another one in September that wasn't as good. So maybe the Yankees had figured something out. Now, the bullpen is going to be really interesting too, because the Yankees bullpen seemingly somewhat stabilized. I say that reluctantly. And the Red Sox pen leading up to Chapman, who has been the best reliever in baseball this season, has been much better. Greg Weissert and Garrett Whitlock and Connolly Early, the rookie coming on, 44-8 strikeout to walk ratio in September. So this will be most likely a great series. It would be even better if Roman Anthony was involved, but he is not going to be involved. Now, the other American League series, now the winner of the Red Sox-Yankees faces the Blue Jays. The winner of the Tigers-Guardians will face the Seattle Mariners. Now, this series is a matchup that we've seen twice in the last couple of weeks. Tigers-Guardians, AL Central. You saw what happened. The Guardians had the greatest comeback in Major League history from 15.5 games down to catch the Tigers for the division title. Doesn't matter now. Everything starts over with the postseason, and as strange as this is, as the Tigers went 3-13 down the stretch, the Guardians 18-4, Tarek Skubal gives the Tigers the same advantage that Garrett Crochet gives the Red Sox, even over Max Fried, in the other series. So this, too, is going to be a rather interesting series because of the rivalry involving these two teams. And also, the Guardians, for all of their magic this weekend and in September, one of the worst offenses we've ever seen in the postseason. 225 batting average, lowest in the major leagues. They ranked 28th in runs. There are only 3 other teams that have ever made the postseason with that low a ranking. It's 2 teams from the 2020 expanded playoffs. There were 16 teams in the pandemic's shortened season, barely even count. And then the 2005 San Diego Padres with Bruce Bochy as their manager. So the Guardians aren't exactly a major offensive threat, but the Tigers haven't been either. in September. And the Tigers' offense has been a question, really, even when they were hot. People were saying, well, how are they doing this? They're not that dynamic in offense. And in September, the Guardians' offense was actually better. So this will be the third time in 3 weeks the Guardians are going to see Skubal. They've had limited success at best against him. They had one crazy guards ball innings against him, or that kind of inning against him in their previous series. But I would expect Skubal is going to be really good. Gavin Williams and the rest of the Guardians rotation has been incredible down the stretch. That's why they stole the AL Central title from Detroit. And the Tigers rotation beyond Skubal, it's Jack Flaherty, it's Casey Mize, who's been decent at times. I don't know. And I don't know about their bullpen either. So what looked like a dominant Tigers team turned into a much less dominant Tigers team. And the one thing I'll say about Detroit, though, as we go into this, I have a vivid memory of the 2023 Texas Rangers, 8-8 down the stretch. They lose 3 of 4 in Seattle in the final series to blow the division title. They've got to go all the way across the country to face Tampa Bay. We all thought they'd be a quick knockout, and they weren't. So maybe the Tigers find their footing here, but the Guardians have this thing going with them. They're going to be at home where they've been a really good team. We'll see how this plays out in the American League.
AJ, let's talk steaks. Omaha Steaks, to be precise. Big discounts we'll tell you about coming up in just a sec on the website, but also every steak is perfectly aged to maximize tenderness and hand-cut by master butchers in America's heartland. It's been around since 1917. They know what they're doing.
Absolutely, they know what they're doing. They come prepackaged, perfect sizes, portion size. You can get any kind of cut you want, any kind of meat you want, and it all comes out delicious. You can freeze it. You can thaw it right away. There's hamburgers, there's steaks, there's chicken, there's pork chops. There's everything you could ever want, and it comes out delicious every time.
Save big with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide and an extra 20% off select favorites during their early Black Friday sale. And for an extra $35 off, use promo code FOUL at checkout. Terms apply. See site for details. That's 50% off at omahasteaks.com. Promo code FOUL at checkout. Terms apply. See site for details.
Now, in the National League, 2 really interesting series. And I know people are going to say, wait a second, the Reds have no chance against the Dodgers. Actually, they do, in my estimation. And they do because of a guy that I should have mentioned with Skubal and Crochet earlier, Hunter Greene. Hunter Greene has been one of the most dominant pitchers in baseball the last month or so, and he's not the only dominant starter that the Reds have. They also have Nick Lodolo and Andrew Abbott. Andrew Abbott likely will get some Cy Young votes. This is a rotation that in a short series can do some damage. The problem for the Reds, actually it's twofold. They don't really hit either, like their Ohio neighbors. They are particularly vulnerable to left-handed pitching, and the Dodgers are going to throw a bunch of left-handers at them in this series, starting with Blake Snell in Game 1 and a number of relievers. Reds only 25th in OPS against left-handed pitching this season. And the other thing that is an equalizer for the Dodgers, if you want to even call it that, maybe even an advantage for the Dodgers, is their rotation. We're talking about Snell, Yamamoto, and Shohei Ohtani likely in Game 3. The Dodgers seemingly want Ohtani in Game 3 so he can have a day off after the day he pitches. So regardless of whether they win the series in 3 or whether he starts Game 1 of the DS, he'd have a day off after he pitches. That rotation that I just listed, Snell, Yamamoto, Ohtani, that's as good as the Reds rotation. But at the same time, you just don't know how this is going to play out. And the other factor here, the Reds bullpen has been hot. It's also got to be tired at this point after that stretch run in which they caught the Mets and beat them out for that final wild card. The Dodgers bullpen, big time question. We know that. Now we're going to see Sasaki in the bullpen in this series, not Kershaw. Kershaw started the last game and will not be available, will not be on the roster. But that Dodgers bullpen has been an area of vulnerability. There's no question about it. So the winner of this series will face the Phillies. That would be an amazing matchup if it was Dodgers-Phillies. That's really what you would want to see in an NLCS type situation. But here we go. Most people, virtually all people, I'm sure, will pick the Dodgers. And I understand it. The Dodgers, though, might not have Will Smith. They're facing a team with a really good rotation. I don't see the Reds winning, but I can see a scenario in which this is much closer, at least in the games and the way they're playing out, than we think it's going to be. And finally, the final series, and this one is really interesting. It's Padres and Cubs, two teams that at various points this season looked like perhaps the best team in baseball. It was early in the season for both of them. The Cubs had that dominant offensive first half. The Padres had that amazing start. And then at the deadline again, when they reinforced themselves, people like myself were thinking, wow, they can overtake the Dodgers. They can be really good. Now, it didn't happen for the Padres. And I see them now as a team that is very dangerous going into this postseason. Now, they're much better at Petco than they are at home. And of course, they'll be on the road at Wrigley. They're 38-43 on the road this season, 50-31. I'm sorry, the Padres 38-43 on the road. The Cubs are rather good at Wrigley, as we all know, 50-31. The question is, can the Padres, with their bullpen, emerge as this dominant force in the postseason? Now, their offense, a little questionable here. Laureano being hurt is not going to help matters at all. But Tatis and Merrill have gotten hot. Manny had a big season finale on Sunday. I can see the Padres putting this together now. I don't know that it's going to happen. And they've been a team where at times it's looked like something is missing this season, especially in the second half. But if they get quality starts, and they should out of Pivetta in game one and Cesar King maybe in game two, they can be a force. Now, the Cubs, too, are in the same category. They can be a team that goes on a run here, but we haven't seen that offense click in quite some time. And Kyle Tucker, he's coming back now, came back this weekend. We'll see how he is in the playoffs. We'll see if he's okay coming off that leg injury. I just don't know whether the Cubs offense is going to ignite the way we saw it ignite in the first half. Again, it hasn't happened. What is underestimated about the Cubs is their pitching. It's been quite good. And yes, they're going to be without Cade Horton, their best starting pitcher down the stretch, the rookie who will be either first or second in the NL Rookie of the Year balloting. But they still have Imanaga. They still have Boyd. They still have Jameson Taillon. And the Padres have struggled against lefties. And Imanaga and Boyd are both left-handed. Padres 19th in the league in OPS against left-handers. So I don't know which way this is going. I don't know which team is going to end up facing the Brewers. But this is going to be a test of two teams that we've seen at times this year be really good. Can they be really good again in the postseason? Well, we're about to find out. So there you have it. The top four series, the first four series, we're going to see Wild Card series, then leading to the division series, the Mariners, the Blue Jays, and in the National League, the Phillies and the Brewers. They get to rest up and get to see how this all plays out this week.